I have always been into horses. When I was young, always wanted a horse, never was able to get a horse, too expensive, too whatever, but I always rode. When I'm on my horse, it is a total escape. My name is Carroll. I'm an architect and I'm a market team leader here in the Plymouth meeting office. I pretty much spent my entire architectural career in the life science industry. Horses, animals, work, it's all related. I mean, and I run a team of now almost 40 people, which I think is awesome. And I have a lot of trust in my team. So I think it's the same thing. You put trust in an animal, you put trust in your team, and give them that confidence they're going to perform and they're going to want to do a good job. And I've always believed that. I've always believed in building people up and giving them an opportunity to succeed. And whether it's an animal or it's a team member, it's the same thing. We all need positive reinforcement, and we have to have someone who believes in us. It is so free, and it's such a partnership with your horse. People that don't ride and don't know, and actually people have asked me that. They say, does the horse just know to go over the jump? Like, are you doing anything, or are you just sitting there? And no, you have to be in sync with your horse. You have to be looking at that jump. You have to be telling them, this is where we're going. They feel everything. They feel your emotions. They feel your body, your movement. So you both have to be confident. And that's what's so great about a partnership with a horse, because they're reflecting you. So what you're feeling, what you're saying, your body language, they're reflecting on that. I never take the easy ones. I like a challenge. I take the ones that no one is going to adopt. I know that new construction is exciting and sexy, and having a clean slate and designing a new building is really cool. But I think the challenge of taking an old building and repurposing it and not knowing what you're going to uncover when you peel back the onion, I find that more interesting myself. So I think, again, taking something, whether it's an animal or a building, and turning it into something of beauty or bringing it back to life is super fulfilling. It's over 100 years old, and they used to use this as a meat processing plant. So they literally brought the cows in on the roof, and they would process them down through the building. Spark Therapeutics is a gene therapy company, and they are going to be creating an entire campus there in downtown Philly. And expanding their therapies there. They're going to be building a future manufacturing building as well. So they are really making their mark in Philadelphia as part of the cell and gene therapy boom that we're seeing here in the Philadelphia area. Everyone who lives in Philadelphia has a real passion and a real desire to keep the history. And I think having the ability to do something like we're doing is a rare opportunity. And seeing a building come back to life, or seeing these animals come back to life, is just super rewarding. Aesthetically, I mean, what we're doing with this building, you will not believe when you see the final results. I love having my team over to my house. We joke that it's kind of the office away from the office. The team is amazing. I mean, we have some really talented designers. The level of design that we're now doing on our team and at CRB is, from when I started to now, is night and day. I mean, we are truly designing fantastic facilities for the life sciences. I've always been drawn to animals. When I was a young girl, I got into horses, dogs, cats, you name it. I've always had a love for animals. As I got older, I started working at the Pennsylvania SPCA, so started volunteering there in the early 1990s. About 8 years ago, I joined the board of directors of the Pennsylvania SPCA.
But I mean, that's how we first met, but you've been doing work for the SPCA since, the 90s. With the work that we do here, not with these guys, because they're pretty perfect already, but, we see animals who come in who are, literally clinging to life. And I get asked a lot, how doesn't your heart get broken when you're there? And I think the answer is that it does, but that you also get to see the other side of it. So you really get to see these animals when they are, you see them clinging to life, and then you see them bouncing in the play yard.
Smiling,
right.
Literally
Or grabbing us through the cages to be like, adopt me.
Yeah.
So I think you really get to see the whole circle, the full circle moment of these animals. And that's really why we do it and why it makes it worth it.
I don't have kids. My life is pretty much devoted to animals and, my job as well. But it's, doing what we talked about earlier, really seeing these animals go from death's door to thriving and living a full life is like, I couldn't ask for anything more rewarding than that. So it's been, yeah, it's been a great journey. I now have Winston and I have my new horse, Bailey. She came to our barn actually last November from what we think was an abusive situation. She does have a dent in her head. You couldn't even touch her head or her ears without her rearing up. She would turn on a dime. She was very, very skittish. She got away from me a couple times running, around the field. And she just needed stability. She just needed someone to believe in her. And she went complete full circle. And I took her to a competition in Virginia last week that she'd never been to something like this. And she was amazing. She just rose to the occasion. And it was incredible to see that this horse that just a very short time ago you could barely touch had come that far. And you put a lot in to it. Sometimes the results are not what you think they're going to be, but it's that effort of really trying to repurpose and revitalize something. It's such worthwhile work, whether it's buildings or animals. It really means a lot to me. It's amazing what you can do. And if you believe in your horse and believe in yourself, you never know till you try.